This week, I made some custom artwork for my house by turning a tree stump into a stamp and imprinting the growth rings on a sheet of paper. Let me show you how I did it. I first grabbed a section of tree from my property. This is a good size of mesquite. It had been cut off with a chainsaw, and while not too rough, the surface wasn't perfectly flat. So that's the first thing I did, was get it flat. I first used my Triton 4-inch belt sander, and while this was working, it was taking a bit too long. If you don't know, mesquite is one of the hardest woods around. So, since I have an electric planer, I decided to take down the bulk of unevenness with it instead. I originally used my small palm planer to hit the really high spots. Then, after getting the surface roughly down to the same level, I switched to using my larger Triton 7-inch planer so that I could take out more of the inconsistencies left behind by the 3-inch planer. Then, after just a few passes with the belt sander again, I had a smooth surface that was nice and flat. It's important to get a nice flat surface so that whenever you lay your paper down, it can hit everywhere on the stump and transfer the ring pattern. However, as I said, right now the stump is nice and smooth, but in order to make a print work, you need high and low spots. When looking at a tree ring, there are portions that are softwood and hardwood. The idea to make a stump into a stamp is to use heat to slightly burn away the softer wood so that the harder rings are pronounced. I've seen people do this with a smaller butane torch, but since I'm doing this project with such a hard piece of wood, I upgraded to my propane bottle torch to speed up the process, which of course added an element of fun to it. I was aiming for getting a nice and even burn, but not charring the surface. I didn't want it just flaking off. After getting it burnt, I used a wire brush to scrape the surface and remove the debris I created. Here I'm trying to clean out the softer tree rings to get a gauge on if I need to burn them further. If you can run your finger over the surface and feel the distinct tree rings, then you've done enough. If not, try burning it a second round. Next, I let the stump fully cool down because up next was applying ink, and you don't want the stump to be hot when doing so. Real quick, I want to thank this video sponsor, which is Brunt Workwear. What is it that you value in a good pair of boots? Comfort? Affordability? How long your boots usually last? High performance boots shouldn't cost a ton, and now with Brunt Workwear, they don't have to. Brunt Workwear sets out to create boots that take care of two of the most important features of good boots: comfort and durability. They cut out the middleman by selling directly to you online, which allows them to offer the best prices on the market for boots of this caliber. This particular style is the Marin. Tradesmen and women often like to work in boots, so when they can find a pair that feels amazingly comfortable and allows us to keep working without achy feet, they're gold. Extra points to Brunt with how durable they are, all while looking good too. They even have an adjustable width insole system that allows for a custom fit right out of the box. If you're ready for a durable and affordable boots to wear while working on your projects, or even as an affordable casual boot, you can try them for 30 days, and if they're not for you, you can return them at no extra cost, no questions asked. Then click the link in my description to get $15 off your first pair of Brunt boots, plus free shipping. Thank you to Brunt Workwear for keeping us working in comfort. Before applying the ink, I would first use a spray bottle and wet down the surface slightly, using a rag to wipe off the excess. This will help keep the paint from just soaking in, and instead remain on the surface. For ink, I'm using an acrylic paint and applied it using a foam roller. After making sure the entire surface was coated, I lined up my paper, then set it in place, being careful not to shift it side to side once it was laid down. I would go over the entire surface with the fingertips of my hands with firm pressure. Then again, carefully to go straight up and not sideways with it, I would peel the paper up from the stump to reveal the outcome. It's pretty neat, huh? I was having so much fun with the process. After getting one print, I would lay down more ink and make some more. That looks so cool! I had to play with it a bit before getting a feel for how much ink to apply. If you apply too much, then the image comes out smudged looking. That looks awful. But if you don't apply enough, then it comes out too faded, and also the paper sticks to the stump. The same goes for the amount of pressure and also time of applying pressure. The ink starts to kind of dry quickly, so I move fast when applying pressure and ended up using my hands. But I have seen other people use the help of the bottom of a spoon when applying pressure. Once I had the process down, I started playing with colors. I would use water to rinse the stump in between colors, then apply and play. Oh, and you can also do this technique on long grain as well as cross grain. Then, after the prints were fully dry, I placed them in a frame and hung them up. Now I have some custom artwork in my house that I absolutely love. This project is pretty straightforward and easy. The main steps are to first get a flat surface, then burn back the softer wood to pronounce the harder wood, and create a stamp. Then apply ink and stamp it. Each wood species will be slightly different, so I encourage you to pick a few cookies that are special to you and spend the day playing around with it. I've left you links down in the description to everything that I used in case that is helpful, and I will see you on my next project. For some great sawhorse plans, and I have a link for you right here for this one as well as two other variations. This one's cheap, it's sturdy, it's very quick to put together, and the thing that I like the best is that it's foldable. And it's collapsible.